Thousands of supporters of the ironically named Cockroach Janta Party have been protesting in India's capital. But can the movement generate enough momentum to force the government to meet its demands? Supporters chanted slogans calling for the education minister's resignation as crowds filled New Delhi's main protest district. For the CJP, the demonstration is a crucial test. Can millions of online followers become a real-world political movement? Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan is the main focus of the demonstration. Protesters accuse him of failing to prevent a series of exam paper leaks that have disrupted the futures of millions of students. They want him out of office. The movement's founder, Abhijit Dipka, arrived in New Delhi from the United States on Saturday to join the protest and lead the group's first major show of strength on the streets. He called for the education minister to resign as he left the airport.
Education minister must resign. Education minister must resign. 5 students have committed suicide.
Let's bring in Avik Saha. He's General Secretary of Bharat, Jodo, Abhiyan, a civil society platform formed in 2023 for promoting democratic values and protecting constitutional institutions. Avik, the education minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, has clearly become a lightning rod of public criticism. Why are people so angry with him?
Pradhan represents the present government in power in India, and he is the education minister. And the current fiasco relates to education. Your viewers must know that this is education at the highest level and at the starting level, which means from April 1st till today, paper leaks relating to selection of researchers, your doctoral students, assistant professors, paper leaks relating to would-be doctors, those who are appearing for public examination to become doctors, and complete mess up about the examination process and marking of those students who are giving their first public examination in what in India we call class 10. What in the US would be the first graduation exam. So this is the spectrum. And of course, it is a complete failure on the part of the government in power. And the reasons for the failure are not just human failures, there are systemic failures. And I think the demand that the education minister must resign is the tip of the iceberg, really, because he ought to take responsibility. But yes, as we all know, the iceberg goes much deeper than its tip. So this is a crisis moment, this is a moment of awakening, and this is a moment of reckoning for this entire spectrum.
Understood. Let's listen to one of the protesters who spoke earlier today.
My expectations are that the education minister mostly first of all resigns, and then there is a huge reform within the education system of the country. The officials of NTA, the officials of CBSE should be transferred or should be even suspended for the rest of their lives because they do not deserve their posts.
What's your sense? How likely is it that the education minister becomes the CJP's first political victim?
From what we've seen of the present government from 2014, they will rally around him because they've rallied around their leaders who have been accused of no less than rape and murder and molestation. The last occasion I can remember was their member of parliament, who was the president of the Wrestling Federation of India. And a lot of women wrestlers protested about his behavior towards them, his molestation, they were very serious accusations, and the Bharat Janta Party stood by him. Finally, he lost an election, and that's why he's out of power. So no, I don't see the central government dismissing Dharmendra Pradhan unless this movement becomes more strident, which I'm hoping it will be, because this deals with those who start their education life at 16 and goes right up to the highest level of education I just told you a little while ago. This is serious. This is very serious.
If the movement were to secure its first major political victory, whether it's a resignation, some policy reversal, or other concession, what impact do you think that would have on the wider political landscape?
For what is 12 years now, this government has never admitted a single mistake. It's all right to make mistakes. Nobody has elected this government believing that they are incapable of making mistakes, but they haven't admitted one. So if Pradhan resigns or is asked to resign, that will be the first signal that, yes, this government is run by human beings, people who can make mistakes. I think that's a very important step. As of now, they are pretending to be demigods and gods, and the prime minister of this country has famously and jokingly been called non-biological. He actually has said that maybe the Almighty has sent him down and he may not have biological origins. All this is in the public domain, and this is, I don't want to joke about this, but Pradhan's resignation is an important step in humanizing this government. This government currently is way above human levels. And I think what the young people are pointing out today is that come down, come on the ground, see our concerns, see our pains. Those who are causing this, put them away. The CBSC, the one which came later, where the digital marking was completely messed up. The punishment, or rather the steps the government has taken up to now, is that they have transferred the person who was in charge of the Central Board of Secondary Education and has transferred him to the Agriculture Ministry, which, again, I represent the farmers' movements, and I've been on your channel in 2001 discussing the farmers' movement. And that's where he has been. I mean, I don't know if it's a punishment or if it's a reward. So as of now, I don't see the government doing anything. And again, records will say that Pradhan first came out, all guns blazing, protecting this whole thing. He said everything was right, and people were making a wrong kind of noise, and these allegations were wrong. And finally, when everything, when everything was clear that it was the papers were leaked, serious examination question papers were out in the public domain before the examination, he reluctantly admitted that, yes, this is very unfortunate. I don't know who it was.
I hear what you're saying there, but I want to reference back to what you were saying earlier. It sounds like what you're saying is that there is a lot at stake here, that it's not just about the specific goals of these protesters reaching those objectives, but if the government were to actually recognize its own wrongdoing here, that in and of itself would be a tectonic shift.
Yes. Yes, that is what I'm saying, and that is very important, because both the government and the opposition must represent the people and be just human beings. Currently in India, there is too much, invincibility in politics, which is very bad for the common people. We don't want invincibles. We want people who understand us, who understand concerns, and deal with those concerns in the best way possible.
I want to bring in one of the videos straight from the party's Instagram account, which helped propel the movement. What you'll notice is a litany of grievances they have with the government. Many people outside India, Avik, are surprised that what began as an online meme appears to have translated into real-world mobilization. From your vantage point, what explains the movement's growth, and why are people showing up in the streets to voice support?
Just one word: frustration. Frustration at the system refusing to acknowledge its errors and correct itself. If the system does not admit that there are mistakes, how will it ever be corrected? And these are mistakes that deal with the future of millions of young people. And yes, of course, it was online because that's where young people are these days. But to believe that since they are online, they will only remain online and not hit the ground as they have done today, there was a serious error in judgment of people of my age. Young people demand a secure future, and it's our job to ensure that they get it as we exit this world. The government is led by a 75-year-old man today. I don't think he's understanding the concerns of the young people. If you notice, right now, today in Delhi, just to counter this movement, there is a conclave of the youth organized by the ruling party. So it is our youth versus your youth. So they're still playing that silly game of you versus us, the othering of the young people who have genuine grievances. This is snowballing. This is something that needs to be carefully watched. This is something that needs to be supported, not because you are against or for any government, but because you will always have to be in support of the future of India and Indians. And the young people are the future and they are demanding it. All of us need to be with that demand.
Avik, let's take a moment and listen to the man seen as the founder of the movement on how it all started.
So none of this was intended. It was just supposed to be a joke. When I heard the comment of the Chief Justice of India comparing the youth with cockroaches and parasites for, just expressing their opinions or criticizing the system. So I was kind of disheartened. How could the Chief Justice of India, who is the custodian of the Constitution, which grants us the freedom of expression as a fundamental right, could be going against that and comparing the youth with cockroaches and parasites. So, bit upset by those comments, I just made a post on my personal X profile, what if all cockroaches come together?
You know, from the outside looking in, this seems like a big deal. I can't recall any time in recent history when a viable political or social movement in India grew from the outcry and public grievances of young people. Am I wrong?
The last time this happened was in 2012. It was not really the young people. It was an outcry against corruption in India,
Exactly.
which of course remains what it was.
Right.
However, the problem with India is its sheer size. A lot of people today are comparing what's happening in Delhi with what happened in Dhaka, what happened in Kathmandu, what happened in Sri Lanka. But we must understand that these are not comparable. So when you protest about something in India, there's a time difference of about 1.5 hours between the east and the west of India. So that's how large it is. So this, as I said, this is the beginning of the voicing. And Abhijit is absolutely right. The Chief Justice of India, my God, that is probably one of the most important constitutional posts. He's calling the youth pests. Who are they pests to? So this kind of language, this kind of mindset needs to be questioned and challenged, and that's what is happening. We mustn't think of this only in the context of mismanaged exams and paper leaks and all of that. That is the immediate provocation, the immediate spark. But much more than that is the rotten system of governance in India, which I'm sure in the coming months will undergo change. And this is not, as you may have noticed that I'm sure it has been noticed that both the ruling party and the opposition tend to believe that this is, some kind of flash in the pan, and it's the young people venting their frustration and they will go their own way. It's a question, it's always devaluing the young. I think now time has come for us to take the youth seriously, and they are. Their clarion call is there, and I'm one of those people who do hope that this works.
And they seem to represent a wide range across the social strata there. Farmers, workers, students, young professionals. What are the common grievances that unite this diverse coalition?
There is only one. We have no future. As Indians, we have no future.
Those are strong
And
words. We
we are
have no future. You're
Those are the
talking.
facts.
You're talking catastrophically.
Those are the undeniable, undisputable facts. That's data. If you see the number of rich Indians seeking to leave India year by year, your question is answered. And those who are not rich enough to leave, they stay back in India. And what is their future? If the exam, competitive exam they sit for to become a doctor is doctored, if their chance of becoming a professor or researcher is completely taken away through stealth and theft, if the first exam they are going to sit for is unfairly marked in the name of technology, you and I, Michael, would we believe that we have a future? And the world is changing. In terms of climate, it is changing. In terms of job opportunities, it is changing. India has no readiness for artificial intelligence. That is the reality today. So I'm trying to understand what the young people are feeling, but truly speaking, I do not know that. I'm not young, but I'm sure the angst, the frustration, the complete hopelessness that they feel is now being expressed, and it will be more strident. And I'm happy that the government did not do one thing that they did with the farmers in 2020. They did not try to suppress this movement. That would have been fair. That would have been horrible. Somebody must have given the proper advice, and they didn't suppress this movement. But this is not a one-day event. This is not one protest in Delhi's Jantar Mantar. This is a long pending and a long-standing demand that we need a future, and the government that we have elected has to ensure that future. Not advertisements about the future. We need the future.
I'm struck by something.
Delivered here and now.
I'm struck again by something Deepka told a reporter. He said he plans to keep cockroach in the party's name as a reminder that the insect, which of course arouses disgust in many people, is also nearly indestructible. What was thrown at them as an insult, he said, talking about the party members, now they are carrying it with pride. What do you make of that?
In public life, symbolism is very important. And I think that's a very good decision. And it is indestructible. I mean, we all know about it. And it's the whole dehumanizing. What they're doing is, and correctly, they are accepting them being dehumanized and treating that as their trophy. The Chief Justice of India has probably made once-in-a-century blunder by using those words. He shouldn't have, sitting at that high chair. Anyhow, that's history that can't be changed. And you may have also noticed that the important constitutional people in this country, from the president to the prime minister, hasn't yet spared a word, even theorizing on this. I'm not asking them to sympathize. I'm not asking them to support. Of course, they have their own political compulsions. But they have not come on record trying to understand this. So this is the insensitivity with which the government is dealing with this. And it's so beautiful that the young are treating this insensitivity as their shield and their sword by using this name, and they will continue to do so. And I think it's a brilliant strategic communication idea.
Avik Saha, really appreciate it, and we'll of course be watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
So what do you think? Can the Cockroach Janta Party force the resignation of India's education minister? And are we witnessing the birth of a new political force in India? Let us know. I'm Michael Oku. We'll see you later.